Right, there's two people in my shot, one of which needs to remove himself, that's you. One of which can stay, that's him. Could you just go and check out my head's in, please? I feel like I'm too tall for this.
I feel like it's probably pointing there.
Good afternoon, hello, welcome to the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. If, like me, you're nervously anticipating Ironman Wales this weekend, hopefully this video helps ease some of your concerns if you've got any worries about the bike and bike setup. So in this video, I'm going to be talking you through what setup I am using for Ironman Wales. Now, I have done the event before, and I have done quite a bit of bike riding. I'm not really any good, however, I feel like I've got a bit of experience, so the decisions I've made with kit and equipment on this bike are sort of educated decisions, things that I've tested and used. I'm not going to go through the whole bike spec because I've covered it before. I'm going to be talking about the things that I have amended specifically for this event, for Ironman, mainly equipment and fueling, tools, hydration, those sorts of things. So as you can see, it is a time trial bike. So first of all, you're faster on a time trial bike at Ironman Wales than you are a road bike. I know that is a massive debate, but I am 99% sure that it is. The first 30 or 40 miles is mainly flat and it is fast, and for that reason a TT bike's a lot faster. Right, so what have I changed specifically for this event versus riding a time trial or even a middle distance triathlon? Firstly, the gearing is probably the biggest difference. I would normally run a 1x chainring, so a big 58 tooth chainring, and then an 11 to 26 or 11 to 28 cassette on the back. I have changed this to a 53-39 chain set, which is a standard size chain set, and of course I've had to put a front mech on as well so I can use that in a ring. I've also changed the rear cassette to an 11 to 30. Now the method behind that, or the thought behind that is, it's really hilly. It's about 7,500 to 8,000 feet of climbing. If it was just a ride on its own, you might be able to get away with grinding up some of the hills, but with there being a really hilly marathon afterwards, protecting your legs is going to be a big benefit. So if you've got the option, I would choose the lowest gearing that you can. There are a couple of climbs on the course that you do twice, so 4 hills in total, that are really steep, and you're going to be in first gear no matter what setup you've got. And if that first gear is a little bit lower, so you can turn the gears a little bit faster, that's better in my opinion. So that first gear will be really good for me. The last time I did this event, I had a 36 inner ring at the front and a 28 at the back, and I could have done with another gear, so they're basically a similar gearing, so I'm hoping that'll be okay. What else have I changed on this bike? So there's lots of stuff on it. When you do a triathlon, you put things all over the bike because you need them. So let's start with hydration first of all. Now I'm quite particular with my hydration. I'm partnered with Full Steam Nutrition. It is a carb mix, it's different flavours. I absolutely love it. I think there's a discount code in the description below, I can't remember. Either way, the website's down there. But the point of me having so many things on my bike is so that I can carry my own nutrition. So if you get on better with High 5 or SAS or whatever it is, if you can carry more of it, because the 30 to 40 miles at the beginning is mainly flat, I think you should stick as much on your bike as you can. So I'm going to be having, I will use bigger bottles than this on the event day, 750 mils behind the saddle, 750 mils on the frame, and then also about 650 to 700 mils in a bladder inside the frame here. This is a bit of a S-Works Shiv DIY hack sort of thing. So I'm going to have, let's me do some quick maths here, just over 2 litres of fluid on the bike, which is a lot. But by the time I get an hour and a half to 2 hours in, I might have gone through most of that, and then I'll move on to picking up water on course. But having several different options means that, oh, if this bottle bounces out and drops on the floor, I've still got plenty more to go at. Or if I get to an aid station, I think, well, I don't need it, but I'll have a bottle of water now from the aid station, or Gatorade, or whatever's on course, and then I'll have one of my own nutrition bottles a little bit later on. It gives you those options. What I will do in reality is, when I'm down in the TT position, I'll use the straw from the bladder, and when I'm sat up on a climb, I'll reach behind me for that. And I'll probably use this middle bottle to top up the frame bladder. In terms of cages, the road surface is pretty good at Wales. There are still some rough patches, but it's pretty good from memory. I've got one of the Gorilla X-Lab cages on the back because that rattles around more, so you stand a lot more chance of it falling out. And I've just got a Canyon bottle cage on the frame. These are quite stiff, so it does still stay in there quite well. What else have I changed for Ironman Wales? I've made sure my brakes work. I've adjusted my front brake a little bit so that it's really, it really bites, especially with the weather looking like it's going to be wet. That needs to work properly. Nutrition wise, you'll notice there's no food storage on this bike. I've sacrificed that so I can get some more hydration. The tri-suit that I use has a big pocket in the back. I'm going to be essentially carrying all my nutrition in my tri-suit pocket. I'll have some of it in there whilst I'm on the swim, a couple of gels in the pocket, so I've not got to stuff as much in my pocket when I get into transition, but some of it I'll also pick up then. I've also made sure I've got some grip tape on my base bar, so when I'm at the saddle and grinding up climbs I can use that. What else have I done on this bike list for Ironman Wales?
Not put any pedals on.
Not putting any pedals on. I will be putting some pedals on. I'll also come back to the weight of this bike as well in a minute. Tool storage on the back. Now, I'll put a picture up on screen of what I've got in this tool storage, but I will carry a quick link, which you'll probably never need. An inner tube, a tyre lever, a CO2 and a valve, and I'll also carry a SRAM Red ETAP battery, just because I've got a spare. They're very light, it doesn't take up much space. I know I've got two on the bike, so if one dies or breaks, I could get off and swap it around, but if I've got a spare one in the box at the back, then I will use that. Something else I've done specifically for Ironman Wales is I've stripped basically the whole bike down, everything that I can, and I put it back together with thread lock on the bolts. I'm sick of stuff rattling loose, so I've made sure that everything's torqued up correctly and done up properly with thread lock, including this rear box, so I really hope that stays on. This as well is thread locked everywhere and even super glued in places where I know I'm not going to be able to move it out. I think that is it. Wheels and tyres are unchanged, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. I don't think you really need to do much about things about that when you go to a hillier course. There's still going to be really fast sections, and I'm a big fan of removing stress from decision making lead up to a race. If I just take one set of wheels, then I've got no decisions to make. The wheels and tyres that I've got are the wheels and tyres that I've got. If anyone's interested, they are Walker Brothers disc and tri-spoke with Vittoria Course of Speed tyres. The front is set up tubeless and the rear is set up clincher with a latex tube, for no other reason than I can't get this rear tyre seated in when it's set up tubeless. Yes, I'd like it to be tubeless, but it isn't. Hence I've only got one inner tube in the bag. I will put some more sealant than is perhaps required in this front wheel before race day. Right, any questions? Let me know in the comment section down below. But if you've got a bike set up, you're looking at this thinking, oh my god, I need to do something that Daniel's done, don't worry about it. If you've used something and you're happy with it, don't be swayed by somebody like me putting a video up and saying, oh, you need to, like, don't stress about trying to get 2 and a bit litres of fluid onto your bike, because not everybody's possible to do it. How much does it weigh? Well, I've just weighed it upstairs. It weighs 10.5 kilos with no pedals. So my pedals, my Asioma Duos, are 300 grams. So that takes up to 10.8 kilos, which is pretty heavy. Plus 2.2 kilos of fluid. We're looking at a 13 kilo bike. That is heavy. That is a lot of weight. But what can you do? It is what it is, isn't it? I think that's it. Liz, have I missed anything?
I think you've covered everything.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please do hit the subscribe button down below. In the next couple of days I'm going to be covering my planned race nutrition and race strategy. Can't wait to get on that beach. See you later.